Hello, my dear friends. Imagine you are waking up thousands of years ago, long before cities, farms, or written words existed. There is no alarm clock, no schedule, no walls around you. The day begins when light slowly touches the land. The air feels cool and fresh. The world is quiet, except for wind moving through trees and distant animal sounds. This is the world of early humans, often called cavemen, though they did not spend all their time inside caves. Cavemen wake up close to nature. Some sleep in shallow caves, others under rock shelters, and many in open areas protected by branches, hides, and simple structures. Sleeping spots are chosen carefully. They must be dry, slightly raised from the ground, and safe from animals. Fire from the night before may still glow softly, giving warmth and light. Fire is precious. It is watched closely. It means safety, heat, and survival. The first moments of the day are slow. People stretch, sit up, and look around. There is no rush. Cavemen do not plan far ahead like we do. Their focus is simple and clear. Is everyone safe? Is the fire still alive? Is there danger nearby? These thoughts shape the morning. Survival always comes first. Soon the group begins to move. Early humans live in small groups, often made of family members and close companions. Everyone knows each other well. Trust is important. Life depends on cooperation. Children stay close to adults. Elders move slowly, but are respected. Knowledge matters more than strength. Those who remember animal paths, weather signs, and food locations are valuable to the group. The morning is often about checking the surroundings. Someone may walk a short distance to look for fresh animal tracks. Another may gather stones or wood. Others prepare simple tools. Tools are basic but important. Sharp stones for cutting. Wooden sticks for digging. These tools are not owned by one person. They belong to the group. Sharing is natural because survival depends on it. Hunger is a constant feeling, but it is familiar. Cavemen do not eat 3 meals a day. Food comes when it can be found. The group decides what the day will focus on. Hunting, gathering, moving to a new place. The decision is quiet and practical, based on signs in nature. Clouds, wind, animal movement. Nothing is rushed. As the sun rises higher, the day truly begins. People move out slowly into the land. Some walk together. Others spread out but remain within sight or sound. Silence is important. Loud noise can scare animals or attract danger. Communication happens through hand signals, quiet sounds, and eye contact. Words exist, but they are simple and used carefully. Most of the day is spent searching for food, water, and materials. Gathering plants, roots, fruits, and nuts takes time. People bend, walk, stop, and look closely at the ground. Knowledge of plants is learned over years. Some are safe, some are dangerous. Mistakes can be deadly, so elders teach children patiently again and again. Hunting is not constant action. It involves long periods of walking and waiting, following tracks, reading broken branches, smelling the air. When animals are spotted, the group moves slowly. Hunting is risky. Injury can mean death. So many days pass without success. This is normal. Cavemen are patient. They understand nature does not obey human wishes. Between these tasks, there are quiet moments. Sitting on rocks, watching birds, resting under trees. Cavemen do not rush to fill every moment. Energy is saved. Movement is careful. The body learns to balance effort and rest naturally. As the sun begins to lower, the group slowly returns. If food is found, it is shared. If not, the group still gathers together. Fire is rebuilt or protected. Evening is a time of closeness. People sit near each other. Food, if available, is cooked slowly. The smell of smoke fills the air. Stories are shared not as entertainment but as memory. Elders speak about animals, places, and lessons. Children listen quietly. Night comes early. Darkness is deep. Firelight flickers on faces. The group stays close. Outside the circle of light, the world feels unknown and dangerous. Cavemen do not stay awake late. Rest is important. Bodies are tired from walking and watching. Sleep comes naturally. This is not a dramatic life. It is slow, steady, and deeply connected to the land. Cavemen do not chase excitement. They focus on staying alive, staying together, and understanding the world around them. As the fire grows quieter and the night deepens, the day ends gently. Tomorrow will be similar, but never exactly the same. As the early morning slowly turns into full daylight, the main focus of a caveman's day becomes very clear. Food. Everything begins and ends with food. Imagine the sun now a little higher in the sky, warming the land gently. The group moves quietly across open ground, through trees, near rivers, and along rocky paths. There is no hurry, but there is attention. Every sound matters. Every movement in the grass is watched. Cavemen live by observing, not by controlling. The land decides how the day will go. Most days are not filled with hunting large animals. That happens less often than people imagine. Much of the day is spent gathering. Women, men, and children all take part, depending on the group. People bend down to pick berries, dig roots from the ground, and collect nuts that have fallen from trees. Hands move slowly and carefully. Knowledge of plants is one of the most important skills in prehistoric life. Some plants give strength, some heal, some can kill. This knowledge is passed down quietly, through watching and repeating, not through written rules. Children learn by following adults. They watch which plants are picked and which are left alone. They learn how to dig without damaging the root so it can grow again. Cavemen understand balance even without words for it. Taking everything from one place would mean nothing grows there again. So the group moves often, allowing the land to rest. This movement is natural. They do not call it travel. It is simply life. Water is searched for constantly. Rivers, streams, and natural pools are important meeting points. People stop here to drink, rest, and clean simple tools. These places are also watched carefully. Animals come to drink too. Tracks in the mud tell stories. Which animals passed by, how recently, whether danger is near. Cavemen read the ground the way modern people read signs and screens. Hunting, when it happens, takes patience. It is not constant running or fighting, it is waiting. Walking slowly, following tracks for hours, sometimes all day. Hunters move together, communicating with small gestures. A raised hand, a pause, a turn of the head. Silence is safety. Loud noise wastes energy and scares prey away. Many hunts end with nothing. This is normal. Cavemen do not become angry at failure. They accept it as part of life. When an animal is finally taken, the moment is quiet. There is no celebration, only focus. The animal is respected because it means survival. Tools are used carefully to cut meat and skin. Nothing is wasted. Meat is shared among the group. Bones are kept for tools. Skin becomes clothing or shelter. Even fat is valued because it gives energy and warmth. This careful use of everything is not a rule. It is necessity. Between these tasks, there is rest. Cavemen sit on rocks, logs, or the ground. They drink water. They look at the sky. Clouds, wind, and birds all give signs about weather and time. There are no clocks, but the body knows when it is tired and when it is strong. Rest is not lazy, it is survival. Moving all the time would weaken the body too quickly. As the day moves forward, the group slowly turns back toward their shelter. Arms are tired, feet are sore, but there is calm. The day has been lived fully, even if little food was found. Being together matters more than success. A group survives together or not at all. By late afternoon, fire is prepared again. Stones are placed carefully. Dry wood is added. Someone guards the flame while others prepare food. Children sit close, watching sparks rise into the air. The smell of smoke becomes familiar and comforting. It means safety, it means warmth, it means another day is ending. This is how much of a caveman's day passes. Not with excitement, but with quiet effort. Not with plans for the future, but with attention to the present. Life moves with the land, slowly and patiently. As the sun begins to lower again, shadows grow long. The group gathers close. The world feels calm but alert. Another day has been survived, step by step, breath by breath. As the day moves past food searching and slow travel across the land, another important part of a caveman's life quietly fills the hours: making tools. This work is calm, focused, and unhurried. Imagine the group sitting together in a shaded place, near a rock face or beside a fire that burns low. Hands move slowly. Stones are picked up, turned over, tested, and sometimes set aside. Not every stone is useful. Cavemen know this by touch and sound. A stone that breaks the right way is kept. One that cracks badly is dropped without frustration. Tool making is not done every day, but it is done often. Sharp stones are needed for cutting meat, scraping hides, shaping wood, and protecting the group. The process takes time. Stones are struck against each other carefully. One wrong hit can ruin hours of work. So movements are patient. There is no rushing. Children sit nearby and watch. They are not formally taught. Learning happens by observing again and again. Over many days and years, hands remember what the eyes have seen. Wood is also shaped slowly. Sticks are sharpened for digging or hunting. Branches are trimmed for shelter. Fire hardening is used, where wood is placed near heat to make it stronger. These techniques are not written down. They live in memory. Elders are especially important here. Even if they move slowly, their knowledge keeps the group alive. They remember seasons, animal behavior, and old mistakes. Their words are listened to carefully because experience matters more than speed. Sharing is natural during this time. Tools are not owned in the way modern objects are owned. If someone needs a sharp edge, it is given. If someone is weak or injured, others work more. Survival depends on cooperation. Fighting within the group would mean death for everyone. so patience and calm behavior are valued. Conflicts happen, but they are usually quiet and short. The group cannot afford long anger. Communication during these hours is gentle. Voices are low, sounds are simple. Much meaning is shared through looks, gestures, and movement. Cavemen do not explain things in long sentences. They show. A hand guides another hand. A mistake is corrected silently. Learning is slow but deep. Skills are repeated until they feel natural, not forced. As tools are finished, they are tested. A stone edge cuts a piece of wood. A spear tip is checked for balance. If something does not work, it is changed. Nothing is wasted without thought. Even broken tools are useful. Small stone pieces can still scrape or cut. Every material has value. During these quiet hours, the group also rests. Some lie back and watch the sky. Others stretch sore muscles. Cavemen understand their bodies well. Pain is noticed, not ignored, but it is accepted. There is no medicine beyond simple plants and rest. So energy is protected. Moving slowly is not weakness. It is wisdom. The land around them remains part of the day. Birds fly overhead. Insects move through grass. Wind shifts direction. All of this is noticed. Cavemen live fully in the present. They do not think far ahead, but they remember. Memory guides action more than plans do. As the afternoon grows longer, shadows stretch across the ground. Tools are set aside. The group begins to gather closer again. Fire is watched. Food, if available, is prepared. The work of the day fades gently into evening. There is no clear line between work and rest. Everything flows together naturally. This is how much of a caveman's day is spent. Quiet hands, watching eyes, shared effort, learning without words. Life moves slowly, but nothing is wasted. Every small action helps the group survive another night in a world that is beautiful, dangerous, and deeply connected. As the tools are set aside and the hardest work of the day is finished, a quieter part of a caveman's life begins. This part is often forgotten, but it takes up many hours. Rest. Imagine the group now sitting or lying in a loose circle, not because they are told to, but because their bodies naturally slow down. The sun is still in the sky, but its warmth is softer. The land feels calm. Cavemen do not feel guilty about resting. Rest is not separate from survival. It is part of it. Some people sit with their backs against rocks or trees. Others lie flat on the ground, feeling the earth beneath them. Children move around quietly, playing simple games, copying animal movements, or throwing small stones. Elders watch them without speaking much. These moments are not empty. They are full of observation. Cavemen spend a lot of time simply watching the world. Clouds moving slowly, birds flying in patterns, insects crawling across leaves. From this watching, they learn when weather might change, where animals travel, and how the land behaves over time. Talking happens, but it is calm and simple. Stories are shared in pieces, not long speeches. Someone points toward a hill where animals were seen before. Someone else remembers a season when the river flooded. These memories are not entertainment. They are information. The group listens quietly because this knowledge can mean survival later. Memory replaces maps. Stories replace books. During rest, small tasks still happen. Someone sharpens a tool a little more. Someone fixes a tear in an animal hide. Someone rearranges stones around the fire pit. These actions are slow and gentle, done without pressure. Cavemen do not separate work from rest the way modern life does. Everything flows together. The body moves when it needs to, and stops when it needs to. This is also a time when bonds grow stronger. Sitting together in silence builds trust. People learn each other's moods and movements. They know who is tired, who is injured, who is strong today, and who needs help. There is no hiding weakness. Weakness is accepted because everyone feels it at some point. Helping each other is natural, not heroic. As the afternoon continues, the group stays alert even while resting. The world is never completely safe. Someone always listens for unusual sounds. A sudden silence in birds. A movement in the grass. Rest does not mean losing awareness. It means holding awareness gently, without tension. The fire is watched carefully. Fire is never ignored. It must be fed slowly, protected from wind, and kept alive if possible. Fire means warmth, safety, cooked food, and protection from animals. Letting it die without reason is dangerous, so someone always stays near it, even during rest. As the light begins to change again, the group slowly shifts closer together. Rest naturally turns into preparation for evening. No one gives orders. Everyone understands the rhythm. Cavemen live by these rhythms, not by rules. Day moves into evening the same way breathing moves in and out. This part of the day is calm, slow, and deeply human. It is not exciting, but it is important. Without these long hours of rest and watching, bodies would break and knowledge would be lost. Cavemen survive not by constant action, but by knowing when to stop. As shadows grow longer and the air cools slightly, the group remains together. The land feels familiar and quiet. Another part of the day gently comes to an end, without any rush. As the sun slowly begins to sink lower in the sky, the world around the cavemen changes its feeling. The light becomes softer. Shadows grow longer. The air cools gently. This is the time when the group naturally comes closer together. Evening is important in a caveman's day, not because it brings excitement, but because it brings safety. Night is dangerous, so evening is the moment to prepare, to settle, and to stay close. Fire becomes the center of life now. Someone carefully adds dry wood. Sparks rise slowly into the air. The fire is not made large or wild. It is kept steady and controlled. Cavemen understand fire deeply. Too much fire wastes wood and attracts attention. Too little fire brings cold and danger. Balance is important. The soft crackling sound becomes familiar and calming. Firelight moves across faces, tools, and animal skins, creating a quiet sense of togetherness. If food was found during the day, this is when it is prepared. Meat is cut carefully with stone tools. Pieces are placed near the fire, not rushed. Cooking takes time. Fat drips slowly. The smell spreads gently through the air. Everyone waits patiently. Eating is shared. No one eats alone. Children are given food first. Elders are respected. The group understands that survival depends on fairness. Hunger is common, but selfishness would destroy trust. When food is scarce, the evening is still important. People sit together anyway. They drink water if they have it. They warm their hands. Being together itself is comforting. Silence is normal. There is no need to fill every moment with sound. Cavemen are comfortable with quiet. Quiet helps them listen to the world beyond the firelight. This is also the time for sharing experiences from the day. Someone gestures toward the direction where animals were seen. Someone else points to marks on the ground that mean danger. These are not long stories with drama. They are short, useful reminders. Knowledge is shared calmly, without pride. Everyone listens because tomorrow may depend on what is said tonight. Children stay close to the fire. They watch the flames. They copy adult movements. They learn where it is safe to sit and where it is not. Learning happens naturally, without instruction. Fire teaches respect. Too close brings pain. Too far brings cold. Balance is learned through experience. As darkness slowly spreads beyond the firelight, the world outside feels larger and unknown. Sounds become sharper. An animal call in the distance, wind moving through trees. The group stays alert. Someone always watches the edge of the light. Rest does not mean forgetting danger. It means facing it calmly, together. As the evening grows deeper, movement slows. Bodies are tired from walking, gathering, and watching all day. People lie down near the fire, wrapped in animal skins or simple coverings. Sleeping spots are close together. Warmth is shared. No one sleeps far from the group. Safety comes from closeness. Sleep does not come instantly. People listen. They feel the ground. They smell smoke. Slowly, breathing becomes steady. The fire burns lower, but does not go out. Someone may wake briefly to adjust it. Night passes in small waves of rest and awareness. This is how a caveman's day ends. Not with celebration, not with fear, but with quiet closeness. Firelight fades. The world beyond remains dark and mysterious. But within the circle there is warmth, memory, and survival. Another day has passed slowly and naturally, as life continues in rhythm with the land. As night fully settles around the fire, sleep for cavemen is never deep or careless. Imagine the fire now burning low, glowing softly rather than blazing. The circle of light is smaller. Beyond it, darkness feels wide and unknown. Cavemen do not sleep the way modern people do. Sleep comes in gentle waves mixed with awareness. Someone may be fully asleep, while another rests lightly, listening. This shared pattern keeps the group safe. Night is when danger is most likely, so sleep itself becomes part of survival. People lie close together, wrapped in animal skins or simple coverings. The ground beneath them is hard but familiar. Bodies adjust naturally, finding positions that ease tired muscles. Children sleep closer to adults. Elders rest near the fire, where warmth is strongest. No one sleeps far from the group. Distance at night can mean danger. Closeness brings safety. Sounds are different at night. The wind moves through trees more clearly. Insects grow louder. An animal call may echo from far away. Cavemen learn which sounds matter and which do not. A sudden silence can be more dangerous than noise. If birds stop calling or insects go quiet, it may mean a predator is nearby. Someone stirs. Eyes open briefly. The fire is checked. A stick is moved closer. Then rest continues. Sleep is not rushed. If someone wakes, they do not panic. Waking is normal. They listen. They breathe slowly. If everything feels calm, they close their eyes again. The body learns this rhythm over years, resting while staying ready, relaxing without becoming unaware. This balance keeps the group alive. Fire is watched even during the night. If sparks fade too low, someone quietly adds a small piece of wood. Fire is never allowed to die completely unless the group is moving at first light. It provides warmth, light, and protection. Animals avoid fire. Darkness without fire feels unsafe. So the flame is treated with care, even while people sleep. Dreams, when they come, are shaped by daily life. Animals, walking, fire, familiar faces. Cavemen do not talk much about dreams, but they remember them. Sometimes dreams feel like warnings. Sometimes they feel like memories. Over time, people learn to trust their instincts, whether awake or asleep. As the night slowly passes, the cold deepens. Bodies move closer together. Breath becomes visible in the air. Still, sleep continues. The group rests in turns, not by plan, but by natural habit. Someone is always half awake, even without trying. Then slowly, the world begins to change again. The darkest part of the night fades. The air feels different. Birds begin to stir. The sky lightens just a little. Cavemen notice this before they see it. The body senses morning. Eyes open. People sit up slowly. The fire is rebuilt gently. Night ends without a clear line. It simply becomes morning. Waking is quiet. Stretching happens slowly. No one jumps up suddenly. The group looks around, checking safety, checking the fire, checking each other. Another night has passed. Survival continues. This is how sleep fits into a caveman's day, not as escape, but as part of life. Light sleep, shared awareness, gentle waking. The rhythm continues day after day, night after night, guided by nature rather than time. As the first true light of morning spreads across the land, cavemen do not rush into action. The day does not begin with noise or urgency. It begins quietly. Imagine the sky turning pale, slowly shifting from dark blue to soft gray. The fire is rebuilt gently, not with haste, but with care. Smoke rises straight into the cold air. The world feels new again, even though it is familiar. People sit near the fire, warming their hands. Bodies feel stiff from the hard ground. Muscles ache from walking and working the day before. Stretching happens naturally. Arms lift. Backs straighten. Joints move slowly. There is no schedule to follow. The body decides when it is ready to move. Cavemen listen closely to their bodies because ignoring pain can mean injury, and injury can mean death. This morning time is important for thinking, not deep thinking with words, but quiet reflection. Someone remembers where animals were seen yesterday. Someone else remembers where berries were found. The group does not repeat the same mistakes if they can avoid it. If a path was dangerous before, it is avoided today. If food was plentiful in one area, it may be visited again. Memory guides decisions more than planning. Children wake slowly too. They stay close to adults. Mornings are when children learn the most, simply by watching. They copy movements. How to sit near the fire. How to hold a stone. How to look around before moving. No one teaches directly. Learning happens through repetition and observation. Mistakes are allowed, but dangerous ones are stopped gently. Food in the morning is simple if there is any. Leftover meat from the night before. A few roots, some berries. Eating is slow. There is no rush to fill the stomach. Food must last. Cavemen understand hunger well. They do not panic when food is limited. Panic wastes energy. Calm thinking saves it. As the morning grows brighter, the group begins to prepare for the day's tasks. Tools are checked. Stones are sharpened again if needed. Animal skins are adjusted. Everyone knows their role without needing to be told. Some will hunt. Some will gather. Some will stay closer to camp. Decisions are made quietly, often without words. A look, a gesture, a shared understanding. Before leaving, the group looks around carefully. They check for tracks left during the night, new marks in the dirt, broken branches, signs of animals passing nearby. This information matters. It tells them what has changed while they slept. The land is always changing, and survival depends on noticing small differences. Then slowly people begin to move out. Not all at once, not loudly. One by one they step away from the fire. The camp is left simple and ready to return to. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is left careless. Fire is protected. Tools are placed where they will not be lost. This moment, just after sunrise, is one of the most balanced times in a caveman's day. Bodies are rested enough. Minds are clear. The land feels open with possibility, but also with risk. Cavemen step into the day calmly, carrying lessons from yesterday and instincts shaped by generations before them. Another cycle begins, not because time demands it, but because life continues. The rhythm of survival moves forward again, slow and steady, guided by the earth itself. As the morning fully opens into day, some members of the group move farther away from the camp. This is the time for hunting, tracking, and long hours of careful movement. Hunting is not constant action. It is mostly waiting. Imagine the hunters walking slowly across the land, placing each step with care. The ground is read like a story, a bent blade of grass, a broken twig, a faint print in soft earth. These small signs guide their path. Hunters move in silence. Talking is avoided, even breathing is controlled. Sound carries far in open land. Animals notice everything. Cavemen know this. Their bodies lean forward slightly. Eyes stay low and wide, watching for movement. Every shadow is checked. Every sound is measured. This is not fear. It is respect for the world they live in. Sometimes hunting lasts many hours without success. Cavemen accept this. They do not grow angry or impatient. Wasting energy through frustration only makes the hunt harder. Instead, they slow down. They sit quietly for long periods. They watch. They listen. They wait. Waiting is a skill learned over a lifetime. The land does not reward haste. When animals are seen, movement becomes even slower. Hunters do not rush forward. They study direction, wind, and distance. Wind matters more than speed. If the animal smells them first, the hunt is over. So they adjust their path, even if it means walking much farther. Every choice is careful. Sometimes the hunt fails completely. This is common. Cavemen understand this reality. Not every day brings meat. Survival depends on accepting failure without losing focus. When the hunt fails, hunters return with knowledge instead of food. They remember where animals traveled. They remember which paths were used. This information will help another day. When a hunt succeeds, it is not celebrated loudly. Noise attracts danger. The animal is treated with care. Meat is prepared carefully. Nothing is wasted. The body of the animal provides food, tools, and warmth. This respect is not spoken. It is shown through careful action. While hunters move across the land, others stay closer to camp, gathering plants, roots, and materials. This work is quieter, but just as important. Gatherers know which plants are safe. They know which are dangerous. Knowledge is passed through observation, not words. Children watch closely. A mistake here can mean sickness or death. Gathering also takes time. It is not rushed. Plants grow where they grow. Forcing speed does not make them appear faster. Cavemen move with patience, taking only what is needed. Overgathering harms future survival. Balance is always in mind. Throughout the day, the land teaches patience. The sun moves slowly across the sky. Hunger comes and goes. Fatigue builds. Cavemen adjust their pace. They rest when needed. They push forward when necessary. Survival is not about strength alone. It is about knowing when to stop and when to continue. As the day moves on, hunters and gatherers slowly turn back toward camp. They return not just with food or tools, but with experience. Each day adds another layer of understanding. Over time, these layers become wisdom. This long stretch of waiting, watching, and learning is what fills much of a caveman's day. It is quiet, it is demanding, and it shapes the way humans learn to live in the world. As the long hours of hunting and gathering come to an end, the group slowly finds its way back toward camp. The return is unhurried. Bodies are tired now. Muscles feel heavy. Feet know the ground well after walking so far. The sun begins to lower again, and the light changes just slightly. Cavemen notice this shift. It tells them it is time to come together again. Those who stayed near camp hear footsteps before they see anyone. The sound is familiar. The group recognizes its own. There is no shouting or calling out. The return is quiet, natural. When hunters arrive with food, it is placed carefully near the fire. When gatherers arrive with plants or roots, these are set aside and sorted. No one rushes to eat. Everything is shared, and sharing comes before hunger. This moment of coming together is important. The group takes stock of the day. Who returned tired? Who returned injured? Who returned empty-handed? No one is judged for failure. Survival is a shared effort. Some days one person brings food, another day someone else will. Trust grows from this understanding. If there is meat, it is prepared slowly. Cutting, cleaning, and arranging happen with care. Children watch closely. This is how they learn. Elders guide movements gently, with hands rather than words. Everyone knows their place. There is no confusion, because this routine has happened countless times before. While food is prepared, stories of the day are shared in small pieces. Someone points toward a ridge where animals moved. Someone else gestures toward a stream that is drying up. These details matter. The group listens quietly. This information will shape tomorrow's choices. As the fire grows stronger, warmth returns to tired bodies. People sit close, hands warm, faces relax. The tension of the hunt slowly leaves the body. Laughter is rare but not absent. A small smile, a shared glance. These quiet signs build connection. Children move freely now, playing near the fire, copying adult movements, pretending to hunt with sticks. Their play mirrors real life. Through play, they prepare for their future roles. Adults watch without interfering unless danger appears. As evening approaches, the group settles into a familiar rhythm. Food is eaten slowly. No one overeats if food is limited. Cavemen understand restraint. They have learned through experience that today's excess can mean tomorrow's hunger. After eating, tools are cleaned, bones are saved, hides are prepared, nothing is wasted. The group respects the effort it took to survive the day. Every object has value because every object came from work and risk. This returning and sharing is more than routine. It strengthens bonds. It reminds each person that they are not alone. Survival is not an individual achievement. It is a group effort, repeated day after day, generation after generation. As shadows grow longer and the firelight becomes more important, the group settles in once more. Another full day has passed. The rhythm continues, steady and unbroken, guided by the land and held together by shared life. As evening fully settles around the camp, this part of the caveman's day stretches longer than most people today might imagine. There is no clock pushing them forward, no signal telling them what comes next. Time moves slowly now, guided only by fading light, cooling air, and tired bodies. This is one of the longest and most important parts of the day, even though very little seems to happen on the surface. The fire burns steadily in the center. Flames are not high but strong enough to give warmth and light. People sit or lie in relaxed positions around it. Some lean against rocks. Others rest on folded hides. Children grow quieter. Play fades into stillness. Bodies that worked all day finally begin to release their tension. This is when bonds inside the group grow deepest. Cavemen do not express feelings with long conversations, but closeness itself becomes communication. Sitting shoulder to shoulder, sharing warmth, passing food from hand to hand. These simple actions create trust that words are not needed for. Over time, each person learns the presence of the others. They know who is calm, who is anxious, who is strong, and who is fragile. This awareness keeps the group together. Elders become more important during this time. They may not move much, but their presence matters. Younger members watch them carefully. Elders remember seasons that others do not. They remember harsh winters, long droughts, and times when animals disappeared. When an elder gestures or speaks softly, the group listens. Experience carries weight. Sometimes simple stories are shared. Not dramatic tales, but quiet memories. A dangerous hunt from years ago. A place where food was once plentiful. A time when the river froze longer than usual. These stories are not told for entertainment. They are warnings, lessons, and reminders. They are how history survives without writing. The night sky becomes clearer as darkness deepens. Cavemen notice the stars. They may not name them, but they recognize patterns. They know when certain stars appear, seasons are changing. The sky is another guide, another teacher. Looking upward reminds them how small they are and how large the world is. Silence fills long stretches of time. This silence is not uncomfortable. It is expected. In silence, people listen to the land. Wind moving through grass. An animal calling in the distance. Fire crackling softly. These sounds become part of awareness. Cavemen live inside this awareness constantly. During these long evenings, small tasks continue quietly. Someone repairs a tool. Someone tightens a binding on a spear. Someone rearranges stones around the fire to block the wind. These actions are slow and careful. There is no rush. Darkness will last many hours. Energy is saved. Children begin to fall asleep one by one. Their breathing becomes slow and even. Adults adjust hides to keep them warm. Protecting the young is instinctive. No one questions it. The future of the group depends on it. As time stretches on, some adults rest while others remain lightly alert. Eyes close, then open again. Sleep comes in short waves. The group shares responsibility without planning it. This pattern has been shaped by countless nights before this one. This long, quiet evening does not feel empty. It feels full of connection, memory, and shared survival. Cavemen do not measure time by hours. They feel time pass through warmth fading, fire lowering, and bodies growing heavy. Eventually, the fire is reduced slightly. The night deepens. The group settles fully into rest. Another day moves toward its end, not suddenly, but gently, as life continues in its slow, ancient rhythm. As the night grows deeper and the fire settles into a steady glow, a quieter form of work continues. This work has no tools and no movement, but it is just as important as hunting or gathering. Watching. Even while resting, the group never fully lets go of awareness. Cavemen understand that night carries different dangers than day. Predators move more freely. Sounds travel farther. Visibility is low. So the group shares responsibility without speaking about it. Some people sleep more deeply. Others remain half awake, eyes opening from time to time. This is not planned. No one assigns a guard. The body itself decides who rests and who watches. Someone who slept lightly earlier may now drift deeper. Someone else may wake briefly, listening to the darkness. This balance keeps the group safe without exhausting anyone completely. The fire is checked often. A small movement of embers. A quiet addition of wood. These actions are done carefully, so sparks do not fly and light does not spread too far. Fire attracts attention as much as it protects. Cavemen know this instinctively. They keep it low and controlled, enough to discourage animals, but not enough to announce their presence. Sounds from the night are constant. An owl calling, wind shifting direction, leaves moving without reason. Cavemen learn which sounds are normal and which are not. A sudden heavy movement nearby. A deep growl carried on the wind. These sounds cause someone to sit up quietly. The group does not panic. Panic wastes energy and creates noise. Instead, bodies tense gently, ready to act if needed. Children sleep through most of this. Adults place themselves around them without thinking. Protection is instinct, not a rule. Elders rest where they are safest. The strongest members naturally position themselves closer to the edges of the firelight. This happens without discussion. Everyone knows their place through experience. Trust is strongest during the night. Each person depends on the others without question. No one could survive alone in this darkness for long. Together, they form a single presence, larger than any individual. This shared trust is one of the most powerful tools cavemen have. Stronger than weapons, stronger than fire. Sometimes nothing happens at all. Hours pass quietly. The night remains calm. These peaceful nights are just as important as dangerous ones. They allow bodies to recover, muscles heal, minds rest. Cavemen understand that constant tension leads to mistakes. Calm nights prepare them for hard days ahead. As the night continues, Sleep deepens for most of the group. Breathing becomes slower and steadier. The fire burns low but alive. The land around them feels still. Even predators move carefully now, sensing the presence of humans and fire. Eventually, the deepest part of the night arrives. The air is coldest. The darkness feels thick. This is when awareness is sharpest, even in sleep. The body knows this moment. Then, slowly, almost without noticing, the world begins to change again. This quiet sharing of night, this balance between rest and alertness is part of everyday life for cavemen. It is not dramatic. It is not spoken about. But it keeps them alive, night after night, generation after generation. As the night reaches its deepest point, the world feels very still. The fire has settled into glowing embers, giving off just enough warmth and light to hold the circle together. Shadows move slowly across the ground as the embers shift. Most of the group is now asleep, but sleep for cavemen is never completely empty. Even in rest, the body remembers where it is. Breathing across the group becomes slow and steady. Chests rise and fall in gentle rhythm. The sound of breath mixes with the soft crackle of the fire and the distant night sounds beyond the camp. This quiet becomes familiar. It tells the body that for now, things are safe. Muscles loosen. Pain from the day fades a little. The body uses this time to heal. Dreams come quietly. They are shaped by the day that has passed and the many days before it. Images of animals moving through grass, the feeling of walking long distances, the warmth of the fire, the faces of the group. Dreams are not separate from life. They feel like another way the mind remembers and prepares. Sometimes dreams repeat important moments. Sometimes they feel like warnings. Cavemen may not explain dreams with words, but they respect them. Even in deep sleep, ears stay aware. A sudden sound can pull someone awake instantly. This ability is learned over years of living outdoors. The body adapts. It learns how to rest without becoming helpless. This balance allows cavemen to survive in a world that never fully sleeps. The cold of the night settles in more strongly now. Bodies move closer together without waking fully. A hand reaches out. A shoulder presses gently against another. Shared warmth keeps everyone alive. Animal skins are pulled tighter. The fire is nudged once more to keep it breathing. Outside the circle of light, the land continues its own life. Animals move. Wind shifts. The stars travel slowly across the sky. Cavemen do not see this, but they feel it. Their bodies are tuned to the rhythms of nature in a way modern bodies are not. Time is felt, not counted. At some point during the night, someone wakes fully. They sit up quietly, they listen. They scan the edge of the firelight. Everything feels calm. After a moment, they lie back down. No alarm is needed. The group remains safe. This deepest part of the night is not feared. It is accepted. Darkness is a familiar companion. Cavemen have lived with it their entire lives. They know that night will pass, just as it always has. Slowly, almost without notice, the darkness begins to soften. The cold eases slightly. The air changes. These signs are small, but the body recognizes them. Morning is still far away, but it is coming. In this quiet space between night and day, cavemen rest inside a rhythm older than memory. The land holds them. The fire protects them. The group keeps them alive. Another night moves gently toward its end. Before the first light of dawn appears, there is a long stretch of time that feels different from the rest of the night. It is quieter, deeper, and softer. The fire is now only a low glow, more red than orange. Shadows barely move. Most of the group remains asleep, but their sleep is lighter now. The body senses that the night is changing, even before the eyes can see it. This moment before dawn is important. Cavemen do not think of it as a special time, but their bodies respond to it naturally. Breathing becomes a little faster. Muscles begin to wake gently. Someone turns over. Another person pulls a hide closer. These movements happen without full awareness. The body prepares itself for another day. The air feels cold, but clean. Moisture rests on the ground. Grass feels damp. If someone opens their eyes, they see the world in soft darkness, not complete black. The stars are still there, but they feel distant now. The sky holds a quiet promise of light. Sometimes one person wakes fully during this time. They sit up slowly, careful not to disturb the others. They add a small piece of wood to the embers, just enough to keep the fire alive. Sparks do not rise. Smoke stays low. This small act helps everyone, even if no one notices it directly. There is no talking. Words are unnecessary here. The silence is not empty. It is full of presence. Cavemen are deeply connected to this quiet. It allows the mind to settle. Worries fade. The day ahead has not begun yet, so there is no pressure. If an animal moves nearby, it is noticed immediately. Even now, awareness remains. The group never fully disconnects from the world around them. This constant connection is what has kept humans alive for thousands of years. It is instinct, not effort. As time passes, the sky begins to change almost invisibly. The darkness lifts just a little. Shapes become easier to see. Trees gain outline. Rocks separate from shadows. The body recognizes these changes before the mind does. Sleep loosens its grip. Children stir first. They shift and sigh softly. Adults follow. One by one, eyes open. No one jumps up. There is no sudden beginning to the day. Morning arrives gently, like a slow breath in. This time before dawn is when yesterday fully releases its hold. Hunger from the night fades into memory. Tiredness softens. The body feels ready to move again. Not strong, but willing. Soon the fire will be rebuilt. Tools will be checked. The group will step back into the land, but for now they remain in this quiet space, held between night and day. This gentle transition is part of everyday life for cavemen. It teaches patience. It teaches awareness. It teaches how to move with the world instead of against it. Another day is almost here, and the rhythm continues steady and unbroken. As dawn finally arrives, the world becomes clearer without ever feeling rushed. The sky slowly brightens, turning from pale gray to soft blue. The fire is rebuilt carefully now, not with urgency, but with habit. Flames rise gently. Warmth spreads again. This moment marks the true beginning of the day, yet it feels calm rather than active. Cavemen understand that starting slowly keeps the body strong for what lies ahead. People sit close to the fire, warming stiff hands and feet. The ground is still cold beneath them. Breath appears faintly in the air. Bodies stretch without thought. Arms lift, necks turn, backs straighten. These movements ease the tightness left from sleeping on hard earth. Pain is noticed but not feared. Pain is familiar. It is simply information telling the body how to move today. Morning tasks begin quietly. Tools are picked up and checked. Stone edges are tested against wood or bone. If a blade feels dull, it is sharpened slowly. This work requires patience and focus. One wrong strike can ruin a tool that took hours or days to shape. Cavemen understand the value of careful hands. Speed has no place here. Animal skins are adjusted and repaired. Small tears are stitched with bone needles or tied with sinew. Warmth matters, especially in cold seasons. A poorly wrapped body loses strength quickly. Clothing is simple, but it is essential. Each piece is checked because replacing it later may not be easy. Water is gathered if a source is nearby. Someone walks carefully to the stream or spring, always watching for signs of danger. Water is life. It is treated with respect. Containers made from skins or hollowed wood are filled slowly. Spilling water is avoided. Every drop matters. Children stay close during these early hours. They watch everything: how tools are handled, how fire is respected, how the land is checked before moving. No one explains these actions. Children learn by seeing the same movements every morning. Repetition teaches them more than words ever could. As the morning grows brighter, decisions are made about the day ahead. Who will hunt? Who will gather? Who will remain closer to camp? These choices are quiet and natural. A look is exchanged. A gesture is made. Everyone understands. There is no arguing. Survival depends on cooperation. Before leaving, the group looks around carefully. They check the area for tracks left overnight. Marks in the dirt. Broken branches. These signs tell stories. Maybe an animal passed through. Maybe another group was nearby. This information shapes the day's path. Once preparations are complete, people begin to move out. Not all at once. One or two at a time. The camp is left ready to return to. Fire is protected. Tools not needed are stored safely. Nothing is wasted or forgotten. This part of the day feels balanced. The body is awake. The mind is clear. Energy is still strong. Cavemen step forward with purpose, not because they are forced to, but because life continues. The land waits, and they move into it with quiet confidence. Another day unfolds, shaped by habit, awareness, and the steady rhythm of survival. Once the morning tasks are finished and the group has moved away from camp, a large part of the caveman's day is spent simply traveling through the land. This is not fast travel. It is slow, careful movement that can last many hours. Imagine walking across open ground, through forests, along rivers, and over uneven terrain. Every step is chosen with intention. Cavemen do not walk without purpose, but their purpose is often flexible, shaped by what the land offers in that moment. As they move, eyes are always active. The ground is read constantly. Footprints, bent grass, droppings, scratches on trees. These signs tell stories about animals that passed earlier, sometimes hours ago, sometimes days. Cavemen learn to read time through the land. Fresh tracks mean nearby animals. Old tracks mean memory. This skill takes years to develop, and it is practiced every single day. Walking itself is an important skill. Cavemen know how to move without wasting energy. Their pace is steady, never rushed. Breathing stays calm. Shoulders stay relaxed. If the terrain becomes difficult, they slow down even more. Falling or twisting an ankle can be deadly, so caution is natural, not fearful. During these long journeys, conversation is minimal. Words are saved for important moments. Silence allows better listening. Wind direction is felt on the skin. Smells are noticed. The sound of birds can signal safety or danger. A sudden change in animal behavior is often more important than what the eyes see. If the group travels through a familiar area, memories surface quietly. Someone remembers hunting here before. Someone remembers where water gathers after rain. These memories guide movement without discussion. Knowledge lives inside the body as much as in the mind. Sometimes the group stops completely, not to rest but to observe. Maybe an animal was seen in the distance. Maybe the wind shifted. These pauses can last many minutes. Cavemen are comfortable standing still for long periods. Waiting is part of movement. Stillness is not wasted time. When food is found during these journeys, gathering happens carefully. Roots are dug slowly. Berries are checked for ripeness and safety. Only what is needed is taken. Cavemen understand that taking too much harms the future. Balance with the land keeps them alive long term. Children who travel with adults learn endurance during these long walks. They learn how to manage tired legs and empty stomachs. Adults watch closely, adjusting pace when needed. Survival is not about leaving the weak behind. It is about moving together. As the sun climbs higher, fatigue begins to appear. Shoulders ache, feet feel heavy. This is expected. Cavemen plan for this feeling. They rest briefly when needed, sitting on rocks or fallen trees. Water is shared. Small bites of food are eaten if available. These breaks are short but essential. Throughout these long journeys, the group remains aware of time, not by clocks but by light and shadow. When the sun reaches a certain height, they know how much day remains. They begin thinking about the return to camp, even if it is far away. This constant movement through the land builds deep connection. Cavemen do not see the land as separate from themselves. Hills, rivers, forests, and plains are part of daily life, like members of the group. Knowing the land means knowing how to survive. By the time the group begins turning back, bodies are tired but steady. The day has been filled with walking, watching, waiting, and learning. Nothing dramatic may have happened, yet everything mattered. This long stretch of movement is the backbone of caveman life. It shapes strength, patience, and understanding. It teaches how to live inside the world, not above it. As the sun climbs higher and reaches its strongest point, the pace of the day changes again. Midday is not a time for pushing the body hard. Cavemen understand this deeply. The heat drains energy. Muscles tire faster. Water becomes more precious. So instead of forcing movement, the group adapts. They slow down, not from laziness but from wisdom learned over many generations. Imagine the land now under full light. Shadows are short. The air feels heavier. The ground is warm beneath bare feet or thin coverings. Cavemen look for places that offer relief. A stand of trees, a rock overhang, a dip in the land where wind moves more freely. These spots become temporary resting places. Resting during the hottest part of the day is part of survival. The group settles quietly. People sit or lie down, letting their breathing slow. Sweat dries on skin. Water is shared carefully. No one drinks more than needed. Thirst is respected, but panic is avoided. Cavemen know the difference between discomfort and danger. This knowledge keeps them alive. During this slower time, awareness does not disappear. Eyes remain open. Ears listen. Even while resting, the land is watched. An animal moving nearby. Clouds forming in the distance. Changes in wind direction. These signs are noticed calmly. Midday rest does not mean shutting down. It means conserving strength while staying alert. Small tasks may continue gently. Someone repairs a tool. Someone checks gathered food. Someone rearranges what they carry to reduce strain. These actions are unhurried. Hands move with care. The body recovers while the mind stays active. Children often sleep during this time. Their bodies tire more easily. Adults allow this without concern. Protecting energy is more important than constant movement. Elders may also rest deeply, conserving strength for later when guidance is needed. This pause in the day teaches an important lesson. Cavemen do not fight nature. They move with it. When the sun is harsh, they yield. When conditions soften, they act. This rhythm keeps injuries low and energy balanced. As time passes, the heat slowly begins to ease. Shadows lengthen slightly. A breeze may return. The group senses these changes without checking the sky. The body knows when it is time to move again. Before leaving the resting place, people stretch slowly. Limbs are tested, pain is checked, everyone ensures they are ready. Leaving too early risks exhaustion. Leaving too late risks losing daylight. Balance guides the choice. Midday may seem uneventful, but it is essential. Without this slower time, bodies would break down. Survival is not about constant action. It is about knowing when to pause. As the group prepares to move again, energy returns gradually. The land feels open once more. The second half of the day begins, shaped by patience, experience, and respect for the body's limits. As the heat of midday slowly loosens its grip, the land begins to feel more forgiving again. The air moves a little more freely. Shadows stretch longer across the ground. This is the moment when the group gently rises from rest and returns to movement. Not suddenly, not all at once. Each body wakes in its own time, testing strength and balance before stepping forward again. The afternoon is different from the morning. Energy is lower now, but focus is sharper. Cavemen understand this change. They do not try to repeat the intensity of early day work. Instead, they rely on skill, memory, and careful choices. The body may be tired, but the mind is steady. This part of the day is often used to finish what was started earlier. If tracking began in the morning, it continues now with patience. If gathering was interrupted by heat, it resumes slowly. Cavemen adjust their expectations. They know that forcing success late in the day can lead to mistakes. Movement during the afternoon is measured. Steps are shorter. Pauses happen more often. The group stays closer together now. Fatigue makes people vulnerable, so closeness increases safety. Eyes scan the land continuously. Familiar paths are preferred over risky shortcuts. When food is found during this time, it feels valuable. Even small discoveries matter. A cluster of roots, a fallen animal caught in terrain, leftover meat from an earlier hunt. Cavemen treat these moments with care. Nothing is rushed. Preservation matters now. Whatever is found must last through the night. As the group moves, communication becomes more visual than verbal. A raised hand, a quiet point, a pause. Everyone understands. Noise is avoided. The afternoon light can make shadows tricky. What looks like movement may be nothing. What looks like nothing may be important. Children who are still traveling learn endurance during these hours. They feel tired, but they keep moving. Adults watch closely, adjusting pace and offering support. Survival is not about leaving anyone behind. It is about moving together at the speed of the slowest. The land itself feels different in the afternoon. Animals behave differently. Birds settle. Some creatures become more active. Cavemen notice these changes. They use them to decide when to move faster and when to slow down. As time passes, attention slowly shifts toward returning. Even if the camp is far, the body begins preparing for evening. The group senses how much daylight remains. This awareness is constant, even when unspoken. Fatigue builds, but so does determination. Cavemen are used to this feeling. It is familiar. It does not frighten them. They know rest is coming later. For now, they keep going, guided by experience and trust in one another. The afternoon may not bring dramatic success, but it brings completion. Tasks are closed. Paths are finished. The day begins to settle. With every step back toward camp, the group carries not just food or tools, but the quiet satisfaction of endurance. Another long stretch of the day moves gently toward its close, shaped by patience, awareness, and the steady will to survive. As the afternoon continues to fade, the group slowly turns its attention fully toward returning to camp. This part of the day is shaped by tired bodies and careful choices. The path home is familiar, but fatigue can make even familiar ground dangerous. Cavemen know this well. They move with caution even though they want to rest. Steps are slower now. Breathing is heavier. Shoulders ache from carrying tools, food, or gathered materials. No one complains. Fatigue is accepted as part of life, but it is also respected. When someone stumbles or slows too much, the group adjusts. Speed is never more important than safety. The return journey is quieter than the morning walk. Conversation is rare. Focus turns inward. Each person manages their energy carefully. They drink water in small amounts. They shift loads from one shoulder to another. These small adjustments prevent injury and help them keep moving. The land looks different in the afternoon light. Shadows stretch across paths that were clear earlier. Cavemen stay alert for these changes. A route that was easy to see in the morning can now catch a tired foot. Awareness is sharpened, even as the body weakens. Children often struggle most during this part of the day. Their steps grow uneven. Adults stay close. Sometimes a child is carried. Sometimes they are encouraged gently with gestures. Survival depends on keeping the young safe, even when energy is low. As the group moves closer to camp, familiar signs appear. A distinctive rock, a bend in the river, trees that mark the edge of known territory. These landmarks bring comfort. The body relaxes slightly, knowing rest is near. Still, attention does not fade. Most accidents happen when people believe danger is over. When the camp finally comes into view, movement slows even more. The group does not rush in. They check the area first. Tracks, disturbed ground, signs of animals or other humans. Safety is confirmed before relief is allowed. Once the area feels secure, loads are set down carefully. Tools are placed where they will not be lost. Food is protected from animals. Everyone takes a moment to sit or stand quietly. This pause allows the body to shift from movement to rest. The return to camp is more than physical. It is emotional. Being back within the circle brings comfort. The hardest part of the day is over. Fire will soon be rebuilt. Food will be prepared. Rest will come. This journey back, done day after day, teaches patience and cooperation. Cavemen survive not by speed, but by staying together until the end of the day. As evening approaches, the group settles in once more. Another long cycle of movement closes gently, and the familiar rhythm of camp life begins again. As the group fully settles back into camp, the feeling of evening becomes clear. The light is softer now, leaning toward the horizon. The air cools gently after the long warmth of the day. This is the moment when the body finally allows itself to relax. Cavemen understand this transition well. They do not drop into rest suddenly. They let it arrive slowly. The first task is always the fire. Someone kneels and brings it back to life with practiced movements. Dry wood is placed carefully. A small breath feeds the embers. Flames rise, steady and controlled. Firelight spreads across familiar faces and tools. Warmth reaches tired muscles. The body responds almost immediately, releasing tension built up over hours of movement. People sit down in positions they know well. Some stretch their legs forward. Others lean back against stones or logs. Hands are warmed. Feet are checked for cuts or soreness. Small injuries are noticed now, not ignored. A scrape is cleaned. A sore muscle is rubbed. Taking care of the body in the evening helps ensure survival tomorrow. If food was brought back, preparation begins. Meat is cut carefully. Plants are sorted. Anything unsafe is removed. Cooking happens slowly. Cavemen do not rush meals. The fire is used with respect. Too much heat can waste food. Too little can leave it unsafe. Balance guides every movement. As food cooks, the group relaxes further. Hunger sharpens attention, but it does not create panic. Everyone knows food will be shared. Trust is deep. No one hides food. No one eats secretly. Sharing is the rule that keeps the group alive. Children move closer to the fire. They watch the cooking with interest. They learn where it is safe to sit and where it is not. These lessons are learned by experience, guided gently by adults when needed. Conversation, if it happens, is soft and brief. Someone gestures toward a place visited during the day. Someone else nods, remembering. These exchanges strengthen memory and connection. No one speaks loudly. The evening is for calm, not excitement. As food is eaten, energy slowly returns. Not enough to work again, but enough to feel human. Bodies feel warmer. Breathing steadies. Eyes soften. Satisfaction comes not from fullness, but from having survived another day. After eating, tools are cleaned. Bones are saved. Firewood is arranged for the night. Nothing is wasted. The evening is a time for order, preparing the camp for darkness. This part of the day allows recovery. Muscles begin to heal. Minds slow down. The group becomes closer, not through words, but through shared presence. Sitting together in firelight builds bonds that last longer than any single day. As the sky darkens and stars begin to appear, the group stays close. The land beyond the firelight feels distant now. The camp becomes the whole world again. Another evening settles in. gentle and familiar, holding the group together as the night approaches. As darkness fully settles and the fire becomes the brightest thing in the world, the camp enters one of the longest stretches of the day. Night is not empty time for cavemen. It is slower, quieter, and deeper than daylight, but it carries meaning. The firelight creates a small, safe island in a vast, dark landscape. Inside this circle, life continues in gentle ways. People sit close together. The heat from the fire warms skin that has been exposed to wind, sun, and cold all day. Muscles loosen, hands relax. The body finally feels supported. This warmth is not just physical. It brings a sense of safety that allows the mind to soften. Cavemen do not name this feeling, but they know it well. This is when memory becomes active. Not memory as we think of it now, but shared remembering. Someone traces shapes in the dirt with a stick, showing the path taken earlier. Someone else places stones to mark where animals were seen weeks ago. These quiet demonstrations pass knowledge forward. Children watch closely. They remember with their bodies, not with words. Teaching happens naturally during these long nights. No one stands apart to instruct. Learning is woven into the evening. A child is shown how to hold a stone tool safely. Another is guided away from the edge of the fire. Corrections are gentle. Patience is common. Everyone understands that children are the future of the group. The fire itself becomes a teacher. People watch how it moves, how wood burns differently depending on dryness, how embers hold heat longer than flames. This understanding helps them control fire better over time. Fire is never treated casually. It is respected every night. Silence fills much of this time. Cavemen are comfortable with silence. It allows them to hear the world beyond the firelight. An animal moving far away. Wind shifting direction. The crackle of burning wood. These sounds are familiar and grounding. Sometimes small stories emerge. Not dramatic tales, but quiet accounts of past days. A dangerous crossing. A hard winter. A time when food was scarce. These stories remind the group of what they have survived together. They strengthen trust and resilience. As the night deepens, people begin to lie down near the fire. Sleeping places are chosen carefully. Children are placed where they are warmest and safest. Elders rest where they can be comfortable. Stronger members naturally position themselves closer to the edge of the light. This arrangement is never discussed. It happens through instinct and experience. The fire is adjusted again, kept low but alive. Too bright invites attention. Too dim invites cold and danger. Balance is everything. Someone always remains lightly alert, even while resting. The group protects itself without effort. Hours pass slowly. Time is not measured. It is felt. Through fading warmth, through deepening cold, through changing sounds in the dark. Cavemen live inside this feeling of time, guided by the world rather than controlling it. These long nights shape community more than any other part of the day. Sitting together in quiet, sharing warmth, memory, and rest, turns individuals into a group. Survival is not only about food or tools, it is about belonging. As the fire settles into embers and sleep takes hold of most of the camp, the night continues its gentle watch. The land remains dark and wide, but within the circle, there is calm. Another long stretch of life unfolds slowly, held together by firelight, trust, and the steady rhythm of shared existence. As the night grows deeper and the fire fades into a calm bed of glowing embers, the day finally releases its hold. Nothing dramatic marks the end. There is no clear line between activity and rest. Life simply slows until it becomes still. Cavemen lie close together, wrapped in skins, sharing warmth and breath. The land around them is quiet, but not empty. It is alive in ways they have always known. Sleep comes gently now. Bodies that walked far, waited long, and worked carefully finally let go. Muscles soften, hands relax. Breathing becomes slow and steady. The body does not fall into sleep suddenly. It drifts there, carried by familiarity and safety. Even in rest, awareness remains. Ears stay tuned to the world. The fire is felt even with closed eyes. This is how days truly end for cavemen. Not with endings, but with continuation. Tomorrow will look much like today. Wake with the light. Move with the land. Rest when the body asks. Share food. Watch the fire. Stay together. Life does not need variety to feel full. It needs rhythm. What cavemen do all day is not one task or one moment. It is a circle. Morning becomes movement. Movement becomes waiting. Waiting becomes return. Return becomes rest. Rest becomes night. And night slowly becomes morning again. This cycle repeats, shaping strength, patience, and deep connection to the world. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is wasted. Life is lived close to the earth, close to others, and close to the present moment. Survival is not loud. It is quiet, steady, and shared. As the fire dims and the night holds the camp gently, the world feels balanced. Another full day has passed just as it was meant to, and for now, there is nothing more to do. Let the images fade. Let the land grow quiet. Let rest arrive naturally. Good night.